Tonight we have a parade of guests, a special performance from singer-songwriter Shayne Stolz, and a live studio audience. That's all tonight on the season finale Pointacular on the Point. Hello and welcome to The Point, the only talk show bringing gay and straight men together to see what happens. Poor guys. And tonight is a big show. It's not only our season finale. Actually, you know, for those who are in the audience who don't know, we launched this show back in October, this little internet YouTube-y kind of show. And it makes me feel pretty good. We kind of blew up a little bit, and we've caused some controversy along the way, but that's okay. That's what happens when different people have different perspectives on different issues. We were picked up by Reverie, which is based in LA, and it's the world's largest LGBTQ online streaming service. And now we are here at the 519 Community Center in Toronto. The heart of the gayborhood, for our live season finale Pointacular. Crazy, and I have to thank Nuit Rose as well, which is Toronto's festival of queer art and performance, for allowing us to be part of their festival, therefore allowing us to be here today. So thank you to Nuit Rose. Okay, so a lot of you, we've actually never officially introduced all of our regular co-hosts on the show. So I want to do that right now, since we have people who perhaps haven't watched the show before. I go first. Who am I? My name is Fred Kerr. I'm a journalist and actor, and I'm the person who kind of birthed this. And there were labor pains. First, let me introduce my associate producer, Tito Faustino.
Hi, everyone.
Then I want to introduce Gordon Allen.
Thanks, Brian.
That's your spot.
Do I get to choose?
No, you know your seat.
You know how it is.
Actually, for those of you who have been watching the show, Matt Raffi, who's one of our regular... Oh, we love Matt, don't we? He's an actor, a dancer, a performer, and he's actually in PEI for about 6 months performing in a show out there in Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown. But luckily, sitting in for him has been the amazing, and formerly of the podcast Ish Talk, now from the podcast The Reamsbottom Position, Tegan Reamsbottom. Hello. And Reamsbottom is his last name.
Unfortunately.
No cracks. Also, Ori Barnett, who is part of the show, he let me know that he would be late this evening. He's stuck in traffic. But one of our, part of the Point family is here and will fill in for him off the top of the show. She will also be here for the whole show, interacting with the audience. Ms. Faye Tality. And last but certainly not least, our technical director. Without him, I don't know what you'd be seeing right now. And he's also operating that thing. Doug Ben. Also, in the back corner over there, in case you're wondering, that's Lee Cadesky of One Hop Kitchen. One Hop Kitchen. Lee will be on the panel a little bit later, talking about his company, which it's a food company specializing in insect cuisine, and actually has some stuff for us and you guys to try.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Exactly what it sounds like.
Is it organic? Lee will be talking about that. Also, he's selling CDs and all that good stuff, is our musical guest. And frankly, we have never had a musical guest on the show, somebody performing on the show. So very excited, Shayne Stolz.
You never asked me to sing.
Huh?
You never asked me to sing.
And there's a reason. So actually, before we get into the topics off the top of the show, I do want to, in case you don't know, Pride 2017, all around the world, for some reason, has a new icon, a new queer icon. And it's Babadook. And I think we have a picture of the Babadook. And I think the Babadook actually twerks. The Babadook twerks.
Oh my God, yeah.
Does anybody on the panel know why the Babadook
Yes.
became a gay icon? Why?
Because it was incorrectly sorted into like Netflix's LGBT category.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
I
so
had
like
heard that it was
somebody.
an allegory for like being gay. I don't know. Like that's
No, actually, I had heard that. That it was incorrectly put on Netflix under gay and lesbian, and then somebody thought, oh, isn't that funny? Let's make him a queer icon. So,
But it
yes.
does look
okay.
like Diane Keaton, does it not?
Looks like Diane
It looks
Keaton.
like Diane Keaton.
Shade.
In my mind, it reminds me of Diane Keaton.
Maybe Miley Cyrus.
No,
but
there is a definite resemblance with the hat.
it's the hat. Okay, I don't know.
/ I don't know. That's the most current reference.
Yeah, thank
Probably-
you.
Do I ever
Thank
make
you.
a current reference?
Tegan is an old soul. Okay, we're going to get into our first talking point this evening. No justice, no pride. I think everybody here in Toronto is...
Should I take off the Babadook for
Yes,
this?
to get rid of the Babadook there.
All right.
Thank you. I think everybody in Toronto is familiar with what happened with Toronto Pride last year when a contingent of Black Lives Matter stopped the parade in protest. Well, something similar happened in Washington, D.C. this year. A group called No Justice, No Pride sat down. No Justice, No Pride. According to the Washington Post, that is the name of the group. They also held signs saying "No Justice, No Pride." They also had signs that said, "What side am I? What side are my people? What side are you on?" The thing about Washington D.C. that was different than what happened here is there are people like, come on in. People are gathering out there. Actually, Doug, can you let people know that just open the door a little bit and let people know they can come in?
There's sound issues.
Oh, sound issues? Okay. Oh yeah, do it just a little bit, tad bit. That's good. So in Toronto, the parade stopped until somebody from Pride signed off on Toronto Pride's demand, Black Lives Matter's demands. What they did in D.C. is they simply rerouted the parade around the protesters. Of course, much the same as what happened here. People are saying that this group hijacked the parade. Of course, there are supporters of No Justice, No Pride saying if you are offended, this was in LGBTQ Nation, if you are offended by the No Justice, No Pride protest, you are a cultural idiot. So the question is, what's the right thing to do when this happens? Do you just ignore the protesters and go around them? Do you say, okay, we're going to adhere to your demands? Faye?
Well, in terms of in terms of Toronto, he just went with the demand for the beginning. But I mean, if my choice would be yes, but no. I mean, you can't really go around. You can't ignore the fact of it. You kind of actually have to just pay attention for them to a little bit.
So was it wrong for in DC? I realize it's a different city. It's not the city where we're based. But was that the right thing to do, to just go around the protesters, reroute the parade?
No, I don't think that. That's just gonna make them more angry.
I mean, I think they should have, rerouted the parade, right? It's like somebody's trying to do something to you, right? You just avoid the problem, right?
But is it avoid the problem? So is that avoiding?
Oh, no. I don't think. He's always trying to get me. I don't know. You know, I'm the only colored one. You know what I'm saying?
That
I thought.
you can't.
Well,
say,
Faye
you can't say
today.
that anymore, honey. You can't say that
You know
anymore,
what?
honey.
No, definitely for facts. You know, I thought Matt was but I came and I was like, you know, I thought you were a little darker on the picture. You know.
Me?
Matt.
You were looking at me. I'm just like the
Boy, you're
whitest
in
man
I just want to
that there's
comment.
ever been.
There aren't a lot of shows where a straight black man and a drag queen fist bump. I think that's a
Once in a
cultural
lifetime
moment.
thing.
Needs to be a gif.
But okay, but
You know,
no,
it's-
but Gordon,
Yes,
if you reroute the parade and at least in the moment ignore the people, can it be conceived as ignoring the issues?
Yeah, of course, right? But they're trying to avoid their problem, right? Like their problem at hand was something in the way, so they went around it instead of, you know, they saw what happened here, right? I don't think they wanted that.
Well, but in Toronto, the then executive director signed off on the demands to let the parade through, and then the very next day came out and said, well, I didn't really mean it. I just signed it to get the parade moving.
So that's basically like rerouting it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the
Exactly.
show must go on. If something's in your way, you kind of have.
Oh,
I
look at
mean,
you.
it's kind of hard to like pay attention to it because you want it to keep going.
Well, I do find it interesting that there's been so much. Usually, the criticism aimed at gay issues, queer issues, is from the right? We're all used to that, right? The anti-gay right or the conservatives or whatever. I find it interesting that so much criticism now comes from the left. That I mean, part of No Justice, No Pride's issue was not just how it deals with minorities in the community, but also the corporatization of pride, and how it should be more of a protest.
Everything is going further right and further left. There's so much polarization, and it drives me crazy because we cannot seem to get along on any level, anywhere anymore. Within the gay community, outside, it makes not a lick of sense.
Well, speaking of things that don't lick, don't know what that means. But Abercrombie and Fitch actually got in trouble recently for tweeting what they thought was a pro-gay, pro-queer tweet. And it was actually a quote from somebody who works at the LGBT charity, the Trevor Project. The tweet was...
Was that it?
No, that is not it.
Sorry.
You just wanted to get more Babadook in.
Baba Shook.
Baba Shook. The tweet was, and this is from Abercrombie and Fitch, the pride community is everybody, not just LGBTQ people. And the idea behind the tweet, at least from what Abercrombie and Fitch says, is it was meant to say, at Pride, we are all LGBTQ. The same way that, you know, you might say on St. Patrick's Day, we're all Irish. But the left of the community saw it as kind of the equivalent of all lives matter.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. Tito, thoughts?
Thoughts? Well, it's like obviously we want allies. So if straight people are like, Pride is for everyone, it is for everyone. That's what it's about. It's not just for us. It's about inclusivity and about everyone who wants to take part.
Yeah, see, I have a lot of against them because, like, with me, they have a lot of stuff against black people, against higher-end black people at Abercrombie & Fitch. So you see one.
Okay, the company itself.
I know, about the company itself. That's why, like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh god, they're
So,
saying something.
Like the tweet itself, I don't see anything that wrong with it, but I guess the company, like,
I think it's the
knowing-
company. Yeah, knowing the company, I'm like, okay, they'll say. Why are they saying that?
I think there was no malicious intent with that particular tweet. I mean, like, it's when companies try to co-opt these important movements and then marginalize them, like that ad for
Was it
what
Shea Moisture?
Black Fridays Matter.
yeah.
That's sort of like
oh, for the
Well, that's
department
bad.
store.
yeah, the
yeah,
department
at
store.
Black
That's
Friday.
just sort
yeah.
of like I don't know if anybody saw that, but like that is not
that's just
okay.
stupid.
And that was them.
That's just
you know,
stupid.
Exactly, but that was them kind of trying to latch on to what was going on and in the moment and try, but at the same time marginalizing that struggle and the importance of it. Whereas this was not intended to be that. It wasn't trying to say, maybe we're all gay. It was saying it's all about love.
What was that sound?
I'm also trying to be sensitive to there being younger viewers in our audience. Although honestly,
This is a family show.
although also I say that, but I actually didn't have an alt at all that
Yeah.
would have made any more sense. So.
It's kind of like when Best Buy like tweets something that they think is relevant, like if they tweet like our microphones are lit, you know what I mean? Like that's not.
Do they do that?
I don't know, man. I don't follow Best Buy. Do you follow Best Buy? No. I'm also trying to take this
Maybe
off.
you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
He's comfortable now.
I feel like Pac. It's coming out. All right. This is the way it should be. This is the way it should be.
Doesn't it feel good having a mic? in
Right?
your
It feels right.
Right?
It feels right.
I wish I just had one around all the time.
It's like my mouth is covered, but you can hear me great.
Well,
I can't actually understand anything you're saying.
Well, I'll tell you, if Abercrombie and Fitch got people annoyed, so did this group of, the group is called Deplorable Pride. And the reason why they call themselves Deplorable Pride, it's a take on, do you remember when Hillary Clinton called Trump supporters a basket of deplorables? And then Trump supporters kind of embraced the idea of we are deplorable. So this group of gay Trump supporters wanted to march in a pride parade in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and the organizers said, no, you support Donald Trump. We don't want you in the pride parade. Of course, they got angry and said, if you are a community that is about tolerance and acceptance of everybody, why are you discriminating against Trump supporters? So,
because he supports hate.
But these are gay people. These are LGBT people.
They should be allowed.
They can go, but
Caitlyn Jenner is a Trump
God.
supporter.
they can go to the parade, but
That's
they can't.
Caitlyn.
They can't
That's Caitlyn.
go
Caitlin's in her own
saying
category.
Caitlin's in her own category.
they just can't go and say that Trump is part of it. You know what I mean? Like, the people can physically show up, but they're not going to sanction a float for someone who promotes hate to a bunch of different particular groups of people.
Then okay, go ahead, Tegan.
Isn't that a slippery slope though? Once you tell someone they cannot be involved in pride. Where do you draw that line?
Okay,
I disagree.
I don't
It's not a
agree
slippery
with
slope.
Donald Trump, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you don't let
this,
them in, who
this
else?
is you know what I say. Let the Trump people march, and they're grown-ups. Let people boo at them.
Exactly.
They can handle the boos. This is, I think, the same thing about Toronto Pride. Let the police march. Let Black Lives Matter march. If people boo at one group, they're grown-ups. They can handle
But they
the
obviously
boos.
can't handle it because in, I believe, the article that you're referencing, they talk about how they should be allowed to go because they have the right to be not judged by who they vote for and their political leanings and whatever, which is not true because A, people can judge anyone they want, but B, the whole thing is that people are confusing free speech and freedom of expression with freedom from consequences. So, you can say whatever you want, but you have to deal with those consequences. Like when people say things or tweet things that are really offensive or racist or homophobic or whatever, and then get all upset that they get fired from their job. Like, that's what happens. There are consequences in life, and you have to deal with it. And I'm not used to breaking for applause. Thank you so much. And to Tegan's point, I disagree. There is no slippery slope here because that's in my mind, an American argument of it's freedom of speech. You can say anything you want. If you start to say you can't say things as a slippery slope, it's not a slippery slope because I feel like I can say whatever I want, but hate speech is illegal in Canada. As it should be.
Hate speech, but
So-
we're not
but
talking about
no,
hate speech.
hold
We're
on.
talking about people who vote. And I did not vote for Trump. I was a
Oh yeah,
Hillary.
he's our resident American.
Right. I voted for Hillary. I was a big Hillary supporter. I'm not supporting Trump at all. But if you are a queer person who voted for Donald Trump, why are you then not allowed to march in the queer
Because
parade?
that's the consequence of supporting
but
someone.
isn't the consequence being booed?
No.
Don't you have to separate politics from like beliefs? Like those are two separate things. Just because you voted for one guy.
No, like the government has to, but people don't have to.
Yeah,
And
but
also,
to, like,
those are intrinsically linked, I think, in everyday life with people. But the point I
Nowadays.
was making was that with the free speech thing, they claim it's a slippery slope. You have to be able to say everything, but it's not a slippery slope. It's not a slippery slope to say certain groups aren't allowed because of the negativity that they promote. And it's the same way with hate speech in Canada. You shouldn't be allowed to say certain things that are going
not
to do it.
say, but you can vote. I mean,
And they did, and this is what happened.
right.
And like, I don't agree, but that's crazy enough. It's actually the president. Like, I still cannot believe that. But
Yeah.
Hashtag not my president.
I disagree with that, though.
What?
Hashtag not my president.
Why?
Because
He is the
Techni-
president. He is
technically.
not my president.
fair enough, but especially because you're Canadian now too. But
I'm a dual citizen. Yeah.
so if Hillary got elected, it would be as president. But since it was Trump, Trudeau is your prime minister. That's
Oh,
he's got
absolutely.
both, so he's clombing
Trudeau
onto the
is-
one.
yeah.
But no, but it's people checking out. Right?
God.
It's people checking out of the argument
not
by
that
saying
dreamy.
not my president. It's people saying that they're not going to get involved because they're just going to wash their hands of the whole
Oh,
thing.
no, I disagree.
He is the
No, I
president.
disagree with that.
You have to step up and do something
No, of
about
course,
it.
people,
You have to
all
vote,
the people
but
who
they
marched
won't.
with their pussy hats.
Yeah, but the thing they need to do is vote in the midterm elections.
Of course
which
they do. And I
don't.
wonder how many people who marched on Washington after Trump was elected actually went out and voted for Hillary. But that's a whole other issue. Anyway, we got to move things along. Like I said, Faye will be wandering around. I guess you have the handheld mic.
Sweet.
Okay.
Testing.
So we're going to
Is it
bring
on?
in our next
Yep. Yeah,
guest, John Rubino from Nuit Rose. He's actually going to come in and talk to us about what exactly this event is. Okay, so now joining us on the panel are John Rubino. Well, actually, I'll introduce John. John is actually, are you an organizer, one of the lead organizers of Nuit Rose?
Yeah.
What's your, okay, could you lean into the mic? We need to hear you.
Hi, everybody.
Or you can hold it if you want.
Nuit Rose is actually an idea that Francisco Alvarez, James Fowler, and I came up with in 2014. And we decided for the occasion of World Pride that we wanted to do a project that was arts focused and queer arts focused, and that would actually fill in some of the gaps that we thought Pride had in terms of its programming, because it had sort of gone very much in the way of big performances and dance parties, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but we felt like there might be queer artists in the community who could use Pride as an opportunity to show their work. And not just queer artists, but also organizations, groups, collectives.
And there's a lot of stuff going on. First of all, thank you for allowing us to be part of Nuit Rose. Thank you. And you brought, actually, two of the artists who are here at Nuit Rose. And I don't know, because I had told John, just bring some artists. So I have no idea who these people are. So if you want to introduce them, or if
Sure.
you want to pass the mic, they can introduce themselves.
You can't pass the mic because it's
Okay.
wired and taped down, but you guys have mics, so just pick them up or lean right into them so we can hear you.
Go for it.
Hello, I'm Khanh Tudo, and I have an installation right up in there. My background is do I talk about myself?
Yeah.
Okay, so my
This is your chance to promote yourself and your art.
well, my background is normally in documentary film, so this is like the first time I'm doing an installation. It's really cool, and I'm really happy to be at Nuit Rose, and it's like awesome.
What is the installation of? What did you install?
Cool. So.
What did you install?
I'm sure that's the verb of it, right?
Well, basically, I made a traditional Vietnamese dress out of the dictionary my parents used when they first came to Toronto from Vietnam.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it kind of explores how like my sexuality and like how I've like culturally assimilated to being in Canada has like separated me from my family and language. So yeah, that's
Wow.
like,
Very cool.
So you made a dress actually out of dictionary pages, is that right?
Yeah.
In the Vietnamese dictionary that that contain words that your parents tried to teach you to pronounce, is that right?
Yeah, so it's like they use that to like learn English because it's actually just Vietnamese to English. So like it's kind of actually hard. It was really hard for me to make it because I had to like look for like words that I wanted specifically to use, and then I just like didn't really know that many words of Vietnamese. So I had to like Google Translate and then go and then like
Wait,
look.
isn't it a Vietnamese to English dictionary? Like, wouldn't it give you that answer right on the page?
Yeah, it would, but like I didn't know where to look. Like if I looked for like boy, I like didn't know. It would be like boy.
Because it wasn't
and then-
like sorted by English words.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that wouldn't be super useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so and we have one other artist here with us.
With an awesome tie.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. It's a whole thing. Got matching pink shoes as well.
Ooh.
Right? Look at these shoes. Come on.
Okay, come on. Yeah, let's see the shoes.
Oh, wow. Are we getting a close-up of those shoes?
Yeah. And so then he talked about his shoes and not his art. I'm a professional artist, and I normally do, it's kind of fun, vintage-inspired work. And then this seemed like a really good opportunity. This seemed like a really good opportunity. This makes me feel like Diana Ross a bit. It felt like a really good opportunity to sort
Diane
of,
Ross, Diane Keaton. We're going old soul today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an old
Diana sauce.
Well, when you're this old, I mean. And so the new ones are all sort of have a gay focus. So they're basically words that I was called as a kid, or so like homo or fairy or whatever. And I've sort of made fun little illustrations that.
Oh, you did the mask one at.
I did.
Oh my
Yes,
God, I
was
love
awesome.
that.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, I love
Fred.
that. Was one of my favorite things at the
Thank
Daniel
you very
Spectrum
much.
Gallery.
Fred, you said like 2 random words and didn't form a full sentence.
Mask
Give any
for
context for any of the
Masculine
people.
for masculine. It's like hookup slang
It's true.
for those who don't know.
I still don't know what you're talking about, but that's fine. That's fine.
Like never mind. Oh my God,
I
trying
get
to
what a
explain this
mask
to the
is.
straight
I'm saying
guy.
There's another art piece that you did.
I did a painting that had to do with guys and how we have this sort of skewed idea of masculinity and how it's become a little over accentuated over the years, in my opinion. And I feel a little like as a big sissy myself, I sort of embrace the sissy, and it makes me feel a little ostracized from my community sometimes. So I put it together a very fun piece that would sort of have a little bit of. It's like the Mary Poppins approach to art: a spoonful of sugar.
I like
you
that.
know, just
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
So where is this?
This is at the Daniel Spectrum building.
Yeah.
also that's how
Which
you
is-
give context.
Yeah, yeah. At like Regent Park area.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
But you have something here.
I do have a whole. There's 23 paintings. It's called a homonym, and they're all
Great name.
because a homonym is a word that sounds like a word. That's a horrible explanation, but
It's the same word.
a
You're
word?
just
Like
emphasizing.
That
two
sounds
is
like a
two.
word.
That's what it is. Two is TO or TWO or, anyways. So it's that,
There's different ways to spell two,
right?
but there's only one there, right?
There's only one there.
All right,
yeah,
good. All right.
yeah, and
Sorry.
and you're there.
I'm
Where?
glad we straightened that out.
So it's kind of about that.
Cool. Well, thank you. And if people aren't here right now, is there a way people can check out your art online or?
You can go to robcroxford.com, and then I show regularly in the city. I'm showing at the Toronto Outdoor Show in a couple weeks, and this was just specifically for this venue and for this festival, just to loosen it up because some of it's a little spicier than I would normally show.
Like you
So-
painted 23 paintings just for this event?
That's correct.
That is insane.
It is a bit.
Do you sleep at night?
It's a bit crazy person behavior. Yeah.
And how long does it take you to?
The little ones are 6 inches, so I give myself.
Size queen.
That's not that small,
Size
okay?
queen is actually one of the phrases. Depends who you ask. So the little ones, I have to make sure I get done in a very short amount of time to make them, cost effective for myself to do them. But there's a couple of bigger pieces as well. But Yeah.
And what about you? If people aren't able to be here tonight, is there some place that people can check out your art online or get in touch with you or all that good stuff?
They can email me.
Just give them your home address, actually.
Yeah, send me some mail. Send me some fan mail. They can email me. So I have, like, my email is actually my English name, which is like weird because it fits with this. But it's KathleenTudo@gmail.com.
Kathleen.
Tudo.
Oh, Tudo.
Yeah.
Not Trudeau.
No, I
Okay.
no.
I was like, oh, do you have any connections?
Yeah. So you can email me, and maybe I'll send you like a Dropbox link.
Okay, cool.
To my thing.
Well, congratulations on being part of Nuit Rose this evening. Good luck with the rest of the evening. And thank you, John, for not only bringing them here today, but being here today and, frankly, putting on this huge, I'm still going with it, it's the world's
The
largest.
biggest in the world.
Yeah, in the world. For putting this together. I know it's a lot of work for you and everybody else involved. So
And for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Shift change. I'm going to ask the three of you to sign a release since you're appearing on camera. I know this is like the legal stuff that, you know.
Okay, while he does that, I have a question for people because I was fascinated about this idea of feeling ostracized from your sort of community and whatnot. So I'm one of the straight ones on the panel. Straight ones. I mean, I'm into musical theater.
He loves musical theater more than anybody else I know.
Fred and I were talking about this. I've done mouth things. Well, that's what a lot.
Mouth things?
That was specifically
Mouth? Doug
I
has
meant
done
like
mouth.
kissing.
Hashtag Doug has done mouth things.
All right, so I have to text my mom and explain this after with guys as well. But what was my point here?
Okay, so now our special guest is Dr. Lee Airton. And Lee Airton, Lee has been on the show before to talk about the No Big Deal campaign. And I'm just going to let you tell everybody what the No Big Deal campaign is.
Sure, I will. And also, I'm glad that everyone is able to verify that I am indeed who I said I was, because now you know that is in fact me.
No, that is not Lee.
Okay. Yeah,
I just
that's
love that
me.
Babadook so
Good
much.
grief.
Lee's getting Baba shook.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, my name is Lee Airton, and I'm the founder of a couple of resources for folks who use gender-neutral pronouns. I do myself. My pronoun is they. I'm a non-binary trans person. And the one that I'm here to talk about is the No Big Deal campaign. So if you want to check it out, it's nbdcampaign.ca. And basically what that is, if you want to bring up, do you want to bring up the other thing you got there? Yeah. So what we do at the NBD campaign is we make resources that people can share. I think someone just walked into the door.
A panelist,
Hello.
in fact.
Yeah, we make resources that people can share, which help folks to understand how to support transgender people in using our pronouns in everyday language. So this is actually our very newest resource, and I'm really proud of this. It's gone pretty low-key viral. I've had almost 600 shares, and I'm on Facebook. Yeah, so woo-woo, thank you. Yeah, and all of our stuff is designed by an amazing graphic designer named Kai Sepulus. If you've ever had a craft beer, you've enjoyed her art. On the can there. Yeah, and basically, as you can see, we're trying to help folks understand what it is to use someone's gender-neutral pronoun, and that fundamentally it doesn't have to be a large, big problem. It doesn't have to be a fight. It doesn't have to be a political conversation. It can be a pretty everyday thing. Like, hey, that's my pronoun. Someone's like, cool.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, that's it. I got it. Bye. Thanks. Yeah. So that's really that's it. So our new resource here, and we have a lot of other posters that kind of speak back to common arguments against doing this thing for transgender people. So if you want to check it out, we have a lot of other graphics. But this one here is just basically saying, you know what, my pronoun is a big deal for me. But you can actually just use it without us needing to go into all this stuff. Because most of the time when I address somebody by their pronoun, I don't know anything about them, right? So it's kind of suggesting to people that this isn't an occasion for big conversation. You can just say, hey, yeah, it's your pronoun, I'll do my best. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, go ahead.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I'm going to preface this by this will sound offensive, and I do not mean it. In
Hit
that
me.
way. But I'm picturing it like when somebody says, Like, oh, that's such a cute dog. What's his blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, she's a girl. You're like, oh. You know, I think that's the sort of level of acceptance that we need to get to where nobody gives a shit.
That's not offensive at all.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to
You'll
make sure
have
that
to
I wasn't
try a
talking
little
about animals
harder.
and people. All right, good.
No,
Well, wait till we turn off some cameras. No, I am not.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you know what I mean?
Like
That's
no
the
big
level
deal
of...
that most people's pronouns are.
And that's, yeah, okay. So that's sort of the way I process it, as like that's sort of what you're sort of getting to, where you just want people to say, like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
But-
now
but
I know and move
then-
on.
But I say thank you for coming on and actually kind of being patient with us in
Sure.
in explaining what this is. And in fact, I'm curious if there's anybody here who kind of goes, gender neutral pronouns, what?
Yeah. Yeah, does anyone have a question? Like, I actually take questions on my blog, which is theyismypronoun.com. I've been doing that for about 7 years. Was that a lie? My gosh. Okay, like at least 6
I know,
years
we're
now
all
I've been
closer
doing
to
that.
death.
Yeah, fair enough. I've been doing that for a long time, and what I do on my blog is I take questions from people like, oh, this person changed their name. How do I ask them if their pronoun has changed? And then I give them an answer. They say, wait a minute, do I say they is or they are? And I'm like, always they are. Right? You don't have to do like, is they coming to my party? Would they's like to bring a partner?
Because
What
if you're gonna
is
use
they
is,
bringing?
just
I'm
use
like,
the-
you can say
just use-
you when you speak to me. That's fine.
Also, you
So
can,
I take care of that
Oh, and-
you
problem.
can also
you-
use their name.
Right.
Yeah,
know, I
sure
mean,
you
like,
can.
That's another thing too.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I've actually started kind of doing that more with people, just using their names instead
That's
of relying on a
wonderful.
pronoun.
Well, see-
Lee, if you said that you take questions on your
I
blog,
do, yeah.
and what is that blog again?
Theyismypronoun.com.
But you have lots of your website is great. You have lots of resources like what? Let's get that back on the screen again. Not the
No.
Baba Shook.
That is not on my site.
No. All the infographics are amazing. They're great educational tools. What is that website?
That website is the nbdcampaign.ca. We just encourage people to do their best to say, no big deal, I'll use your pronoun. That's cool.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Ori's back, everybody.
Hello, everybody. We didn't get to introduce him before, but this is the other member of our regular panel, Ori Barnett.
How's everybody doing?
We can't hear
that
you
was
when
her
you do
sexy
that.
voice. So traffic was bad, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Incredibly.
Yes.
Very.
Because you were coming back from far away.
I don't want to talk about
Okay. But not only is Ori here, but we have
What? Oh.
What? we have a doctor. No, not the Babadook.
Hey!
I didn't know what you were talking
What is
about.
this magical creature right now?
We have.
I've never heard of
We
that.
have.
No. What? What is this?
It's the twerking Babadook.
All right, Diane Keaton.
It's not Diane Keaton.
All right, but somebody
have
actually doing important good work.
We have another doctor. We've been double doctored. We have Doctor.
Double deed.
What?
You have great
Double
teeth.
deed.
You're welcome.
And hair and an awesome shirt.
Okay, we're just here to talk about how Michael looks. Dr. Michael Fanous, a specialist in HIV medications and PrEP. And welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
So before we actually get into it, is there anybody who doesn't know what PrEP is?
Why don't you tell us anyway, Fred?
Well, I'm going to let Michael tell, but I wanted
Somebody.
to see, because there are, it depends on what world what your circle is, whether or not you know what this is.
Until doing this show and spending time with more gay men, PrEP was something very different for me. You know what I mean? Like it's pre-production, it's PrEP to me. That's how I mostly use it. Or at the time, earlier in the season when you were on, I was dating this girl who she was doing PrEP, but she was like fitness prep for a fitness show.
Okay,
And that
so
was where I
what
started.
is-
So I had no idea before this.
What is PrEP, Michael?
So PrEP is spelled capital P, little r, and then capital EP. It stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, and it's just to differentiate from capital PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis. Post-exposure means after you've been exposed to HIV, we can give meds to prevent you from becoming HIV positive. And then pre-exposure prophylaxis is meds we can give you before you're exposed, similar to birth control. So if you're on this pill, you don't get HIV. So what's rocking the whole queer world now in LGBT spaces is that we can actually end the epidemic. But I don't want to talk just about PrEP. I mean, most of my focus on these TV shows has been talking about pre-exposure prophylaxis, but this is just one medication from a host of HIV meds that I specialize in and help people access. Most of my patients, or most of my clients rather, are HIV positive and they're doing incredibly well on treatment. So my focus is ending the stigma. So we have effective medications. We even have 1 tablet once a day regimens, which we put all their medications into 1 tablet. And the great thing is that people that are taking medications are now undetectable. They do not transmit the virus to their partners.
What does undetectable mean?
I'm glad you asked. So undetectable status basically means if I were HIV positive and undetectable, it means I'm taking medication to make the level of virus so low in my blood that you can't detect it. And that's incredible.
Does it get rid of it entirely, or sorry, pardon me?
Thank you. No, we haven't cured HIV
Okay.
yet. There is cure research. So cure research would say, all right, so someone's been undetectable taking their medication for years. They're not transmitting it to their partner, even without a condom. This is incredible. Now, what if we remove treatment? If we remove treatment, the virus starts to replicate, unfortunately, within 2 weeks. And then you can start detecting the virus again in their blood. However, we can extend that period. So cure research is looking at why is it just 2 weeks? Why can't we make it 10 months, 10 years, maybe for the rest of their life? But what I'm trying to get at is PrEP is great for HIV negative folks. But there's still 25% of gay men in Toronto who are HIV positive, and that's not a bad thing, and it's not something to fear. My patients who take medication and are undetectable are fighting the worst thing in their life, and it's not the virus. It's the stigma. So unfortunately, if we can get them treatment and they can still go out there in the world and live healthy lives, we have studies that find HIV positive undetectable patients live just as long as those who are negative. That's a hallmark of treatment. That's a new thing. You can applaud that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So we call this treatment as prevention. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's a prevention for those that are negative, and that's great. We keep them negative. But the bigger thing is if we can couple that. So if I'm sleeping with someone who's HIV positive and undetectable, and I'm on PrEP, a condom doesn't afford me any extra protection. In fact, this is chemically protected. People who say, oh, you're having unprotected sex, I say, no, your mother had unprotected sex.
Oh, snap.
Right? I'm having chemically protected, studied, and effective ways to prevent the transmission of the virus.
In fact, we have a picture of you promoting, don't we? There.
Yeah, this is
the
the
again, didn't you?
2016 AIDS Walk for Life, and this benefits the AIDS Committee of Toronto. But not only does it fundraise, we hit the streets again. We do this multiple times a year with the messages that undetectable equals untransmittable or uninfectious. So if someone's undetectable, they're not somebody to fear. If someone is undetectable, they are just the same as all the rest of your friends. They're not someone who can't have sex, who can't find a partner, who is infectious. So the message that you'll see there, undetectable equals uninfectious, is incredibly important. But equally as important are the campaigns that we have, and you can see List PrEP Now. So the List PrEP Now campaign I want to speak about a little bit. It's a campaign that's going on currently. The AIDS Committee of Toronto is helping promote this message. I'm helping to promote this message. PrEP is not yet covered by the government. But if you become HIV positive and you require lifelong treatment, then there's programs to cover that. Does that make sense? So the government is looking at it saying it's costly. You know, to be on PrEP costs almost $1,000 a month. And insurance,
so much.
It is expensive, but that's because it's just one of the HIV medications. We've been using that Truvada in treatment for years.
So if it's not covered by the government, do many benefits plans cover that, or are most people just on their own trying to pay for this?
That's a good question. So right now, yep, some private insurance plans cover it. And yes, some people do cover it on the expense of the government, and I can't really officially speak about that right now at this table. How do they do that? It's depending on everybody's plan. However, it's cost prohibitive. The number one reason guys don't take PrEP is not a fear of side effects. It's not because it's a tablet once a day. It's not the inconvenience. It's the cost. Mm-hmm. Right?
So is there a cheaper one now?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, I'm happy to announce. Is there a script? Did we rehearse? I want to announce to you guys, as this is the first time I've done it live. Actually, the second time. CBC got me live last week, but
This is basically the same as
okay,
CBC.
yeah, it's the same as CBC. It will now be a much more affordable generic prep on the market in Canada as of next month. Now, I don't want you to think that generics are some kind of, sold on in a parking lot, or it's not approved, or this is something that you're going to get
Like the generic iPhone cable that makes your phone explode kind of thing.
Exactly.
Or catch fire.
Exactly. Now, Health Canada doesn't allow me to sell a generic unless it's tested to be effective, and it's tested for safety, and it's tested to be equivalent to the brand name. There's a lot of generics for a lot of drugs floating around the market. You can look online. You could look at non-accredited pharmacies for generic medications, but Health Canada just approved a generic for Truvada. Truvada is 2 drugs in 1 tablet. So the long name is emtricitabine, tenofovir, blah, blah, blah. But now there's a generic made by several different Canadian companies that will be sold in Canadian pharmacies, accredited Canadian pharmacies. It's tested and it's proven to be the same as the brand name.
What are we talking about in terms of price if it was $1,000 a month before?
So we're talking, generics, when they enter the market in Canada, thankfully they're regulated by the government, so they will not come out at even near that price. We're talking about less than half and perhaps a quarter of the price.
Wow.
That's really good.
So our next guest of Arabian Nights LGBTQ, Kero Saleib.
Hello.
So for those who don't know what Arabian Nights LGBTQ is, please tell us.
Absolutely. So Arabian Nights LGBTQ is a not-for-profit organization. We do host a fundraiser every month, actually. Yesterday we just had our Pride Edition one, and it went very well. It was amazing. And
you're awake today.
Yes, somewhat. Thank God for coffee. So part of the proceeds actually do go into helping a lot of the refugees that come in, how to integrate within the LGBTQ community, how to accept their faith and their sexuality, HIV/AIDS education based on their faith, their traditions, their cultures. Me being Egyptian, I have my own background in regards to that, but here. So it inspired me to start Arabian Nights LGBTQ, and it became this big event that's doing very well, and I thank the community for the support on that.
Cool. Now, I have to ask, just because there's so much going on politically around the issue of people from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Has it affected the queer Middle Eastern community any differently than, in terms of like the Syrian refugees or, the ban, the Trump travel ban, whatever he wants to call it?
So it seems since the rise of Trump and presidency, racism has increased. Here within Toronto, I've had a few encounters recently myself. I mean, I've lived here pretty much all my life. I'm out and about, and then as soon as someone finds out what kind of event I have, they're like, "Oh, you're the guy who hosts the terrorist party." So it's like,
people say that to you?
Yeah. Yep, it's been happening, and it's getting worse. I got followed by the police recently into my condo when I've been living there for a long time. So it's becoming very weird, and it's becoming worse, not better. So Arabian Nights LGBTQ is meant to fight this and stand. Even recently, again, when the whole vigil with the Orlando Pulse that happened recently, I was very grateful for it. But again, the Middle Eastern community is held in the back because of the person who committed the act. The transgender Middle Eastern community is always forgotten as well, even though there's a big number of them. So there seems to be, the Middle Eastern community is also scared. There is a fear to speak out. There is a fear of being exposed. So it goes from both ways. I mean, if we are confronted by the police, many will just go, okay, sorry, they'll just adhere instead of standing their ground and, standing firm on their rights as well.
I'm going to ask a weird question.
Sure.
And I don't mean to
You've
pit...
asked many weird questions.
Yeah, I know.
Before.
I don't mean to pit different groups against each other, but there's a lot of talk about, Black Lives Matter, relationship between the black community and the police. And I don't hear the same... And there are a lot of people who aren't black who are rallying to Black Lives Matter side, and but I don't hear the same. I don't hear it about your community.
Yes, it's a cultural thing. We keep quiet, we keep to ourselves, just go with the flow and pretend. Very often you'll find that I used to be that way. I used to try to fit in, pretend to be someone I am not to fit in, keep quiet about my emotions, keep quiet about how I feel, and just go with the flow, go with the bigger crowds. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the Middle Easterners who come in, they come in from a classist system. And that's still applicable in some behaviors because that's how they grew up, and for them it's normal. And because of that, they don't speak out. So I'm encouraging them. Arabian Nights is meant to encourage them to have a voice and to stand strong. It's going to take a lot of work. This hasn't been done before. There's been support groups, but everything is always done in quiet. So, this year I've made it a very strong opinion. A lot of people did not like the fact that I stood for Black Lives Matter and what they stood for, but that's because I had to take a look at the bigger picture of what works for the community, what needs to be done, we as Middle Easterners need to do together. I'm very proud to say Michael Fanous, being another Middle Easterner, we grew up in a very suppressed community here in Canada where we were taught to stand up. So hopefully it will happen, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's new. It's fairly new.
And your organization is helping on that front. If people want to contact or find out about the organization, where do they go online?
Facebook. It's facebook.com/Arabian Nights, LGBTQ.com. The website is actually up on the picture over here as well. Instagram, AK-LGBTQ. And yeah. So you could contact me through any of these and we'll be happy to answer. Come to the events as well, show your support. One thing I actually wanted to say that's been incredible development with the events is the amount of straight Middle Eastern people showing up. It's been incredibly humbling, an incredible experience to see. So the voices are being heard and the support is happening, the change is gonna happen. So
cool.
Thank you.
So you're bringing gay and straight Middle Easterners together to see what happens.
Isn't that how it
I
should be?
like it. I like it. Okay, now sit already. Don't just stand there. Well, sit on the couch. It's comfortable.
Those seats are awesome. I was literally just sitting there. They're great.
Now we have a very interesting topic. From the group Polyamory Toronto, David Williston.
Hello.
So, David.
Yes.
What is polyamory?
The greatest thing in the world.
Nice. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. It honestly is.
Actually, hold this. So polyamory is an ethical form of non-monogamy. So non-monogamy obviously is breaking away from the tradition of couples being based on two people. So that's been a very heteronormative thing for a long time now.
I think a couple is two people. You mean a relationship being two people?
Yes.
It's literally the definition of
Yeah. So polyamory is a little bit set apart from some of the other forms of non-monogamy for sure, but even other forms of ethical non-monogamy in the sense that there's a very strong emphasis put on transparent communication. So it's about talking things out, making sure that everybody that's involved in the polycule or the relationship structure is equally aware of the things that have been agreed upon, of being topics that have to be discussed ahead of time, such as how many partners. We were talking earlier in the show about prep and barriers, and sometimes that's, well, a lot of the time that's something that gets talked about very early on, like, well, if you're having all these other multiple partners, what is being done or not being done, what risks are being taken, and everybody needs to kind of be brought in to the fold on that. So it's not as though you would have one partner that has no idea if you're using barriers with a new partner, what their level of comfort is. And then if there's children involved, like if one couple has, like if one person in a relationship has children, you know, that's something that needs to be kind of like discussed about sharing the time.
Now, this is the reason why I wanted to have you back, and particularly because you were on the show previously, especially with an audience here, because this is a confusing and controversial topic for people.
Right.
I think we have a graphic that'll clear it up.
Okay, put the graphic on the screen.
This will clarify everything for everybody. There you go.
I totally expected the Babadook.
Oh, he wanted the Babadook.
That's what I thought he was gonna do.
Moments passed.
Okay,
He
next
pops
time.
up when you least expect.
Yeah, I know.
It has to be unexpected.
Because if someone says, I'm in a polyamorous relationship or I'm polyamorous, people are going to have lots and lots of questions.
I think big love, honestly. Like, before meeting you and before kind of learning a lot more about it as we did through the point, that was the first thing that came to mind to me was, Mormonism, big love, because, also Bill Paxton. But you know what I mean? Like, that was, I'm a very
but
pop
that's
culture.
polygamy, though.
Yeah, no, I know,
So-
but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, I didn't have a very clear idea of polyamory and especially ethical polyamory, like, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's just throwing that out there as a perspective.
It is very confusing when you just kind of see this, especially for the first time. But
I thought it was a floor plan for the 519 when I first put this slideshow together.
But like I said the last time I was on the show, for me personally, when I first looked at it, I was kind of like, oh God, I have to know all of this. But as I started to go through, I was like, well, a lot of this stuff that's in this diagram, it just doesn't even apply. And as I started to kind of look at all the terms and think about what they meant and did a little bit of, Wikipedia searching for some of the terms I wasn't as familiar with, I started to feel a lot more comfortable with just kind of gravitating to the 1, 2, or 3 things that overlap for me, because I'm kind of in that like purple area with the polyamorous relationships, maybe kind of toward the center with polymono.
What is commerce? Is that just like company, or I was thinking like companies who sponsor relationships?
Well,
our relationship brought to you by Squarespace.
It's figuring out how your relationship works with one or more people from a financial perspective.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Moving in, combining assets and stuff like that, which is a part of many relationships. Definitely many traditional monogamous relationships is like the shared bank account, and obviously if you're living together in a house that you paid for together, if you bring other partners into the fold, that's something else that needs to be discussed. Well, we've got assets together, so that's something that you would need new partners to be comfortable with. Like, I don't really want you sharing a bank account with, your other partner, because then what are we sharing? Like, that might be something that gets brought up where it's something contentious to talk about from one side or the other, being for it or against it.
It seems like it could get complicated very quickly, as
it
most
could.
things involving money
Isn't
do.
every relationship complicated?
For sure. Yeah.
Did you find it difficult to quote unquote come out as being polyamorous or in a polyamorous relationship? Because I find that, I'll be honest, I'm in a polyamorous relationship. I find that coming out as that is kind of like what it was like to come out as gay 20 years ago.
Right.
Do
well, yeah, I actually had a coming out party 2 years ago, and for me at the time, it was more about me coming out as pansexual, and I did.
Which is a whole other discussion.
Which I've never heard that used in a non-comedic context.
I'll show you the pans later.
Yeah.
So I did
you
it
could
more.
fry my skillet. What I find interesting is that people get freaked out about the term polyamory or what it is to be polyamorous, but I haven't seen any statistics on this, but I'm assuming that very few people are actually monogamous. They may say they're monogamous, but they're not. Like, if you say you're monogamous, but you're cheating on the side, guess what? You're not really monogamous.
Well, I think there's a difference between being polyamorous and being an asshole, which is what you're saying.
But I
It's the whole honesty thing, right?
Well, it's up here though, because some people accidentally end up in one of these forms of polyamory, which is don't ask, don't tell, which is that kind of magenta.
Oh, I see.
That magenta in the middle. But I mean, for it to actually be a polyamorous relationship, that needs to be discussed. Like, don't tell me what you do.
I feel like there's this that the way that at one time, heterosexual was like the norm or the pinnacle, and then, there were the other people who didn't live up to, the expectation, and I feel like monogamy is still put on this pedestal of being what we all strive for or for what is perfection. And yet very few people actually practice monogamy.
Right, which is why it's bizarre that it's still promoted. It's recognized so much through the government. Like, institutions and stuff like that, because we were talking earlier about what it is that like the governments recognize and what it is that they give privilege toward. And couples, monogamous couples definitely have privileges within just the societal system, for sure.
Ori.
Absolutely. 100%. Just because...
100% what? Sorry.
That I would be polyamorous.
Cool.
I've actually been thinking a lot about it since you were last on the show, and it would actually work out perfectly for me, just because I've never actually been in a long-term relationship.
Which I cannot believe.
I just...
I
well,
would
the
think
thing,
you'd
the
be
thing
such
is,
a catch.
the thing is this like...
Try to lock them down.
I'm... Thank you. But my eyes always wander because I'm attracted to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, right? And I may not get something from someone, but I can get something from somebody else. But it's not like I still don't love this person or like this person, but I want the best of like all of the worlds. And I know that's very selfish of me, but
it's not.
But I just like and that's just the thing. And
It's not selfish.
No,
It's
I know, and
definitely not
like
selfish.
and
that's the perception.
And I usually, every time that I get into what would be a long-lasting relationship, I find myself thinking, like, you know what, I really like this person, but is it fair to me to want another person as well? You know what I mean? Whereas in polyamory, like, it just works because I can have things with different people that I need. You know what I mean?
See, in the polyamory community, like Eva, who is the lead organizer, she often has said over the years I've come to know her that she sees friendships, any kind of, with a family member, whoever, those are all relationships that take different amounts of energy. And it's all about, understanding what your limits are and playing within it, right? Like that lotto, slogan. But I kind of brought it up last time I was on the show, but you could put it into any number of simple metaphors where it's like, if you're with a partner who loves skydiving, like, it's the biggest thing in their life. Like, they have to skydive. They are someone who skydives, but you are terrified of heights and you will never, ever, ever go skydiving with them. Why would you want to, like, be in a relationship where you develop all these feelings and you care about them, and you say to them, well, since you can't go skydiving with me, you can't go skydiving.
It's not fair.
To kind of, in this, not always intentional, but like sort of a manipulative kind of way, to kind of hold someone in this emotional kind of like hostage situation. Whereas you're in a polyamorous relationship, it's like, oh, the other night at the pub, I ended up meeting this person and they love skydiving, and for your partner to look at you and say, fantastic, go skydiving with them.
Right.
I want you to have that relationship with that person. And I mean, the skydiving is one kind of extreme example that's pretty easy to visualize.
And skydiving, that's not a euphemism for something.
Well, no, but that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
There is skydiving
It's a
porn,
metaphor.
just so you know,
it's a
if
metaphor
you wanna
that's
look
easy
it
enough
up.
for people
It's a
to
real thing.
visualize, but it could be anything. It could
Whatever
be,
kind of diving you're into.
Exactly.
I mean, you could end up finding someone that's just into mouth stuff, and that would be great.
What? Okay, whoa.
No, see,
Helen Hayden. Helen,
there you go.
there you go.
Gorge. That headshot.
That's you. You look fabulous.
That's a great headshot.
Actually, does anybody here watch Designated Survivor?
Me.
I do.
Did
It's-
anyone notice a hot coroner
Yes.
telling Maggie Q
Yes.
about a dead body?
Makes that corner from iZombie look
Yeah,
like a pile of puke.
so
True.
every so often there's a local Toronto actress who ends up in one of these big productions that films here in Toronto, and Helen ended up in Designated Survivor. That was amazing.
Thank you very much.
So what's Maggie Q really like?
Oh my gosh. Everyone was actually so lovely. The entire cast and crew were wonderful, and I honestly can't say a bad word. She's just as gorgeous in person, and a total professional. They had a really long day of shooting, and she was just lovely to be around, and yeah.
And actually, our editor, Andrew, who's behind one of the cameras today, you live near where Maggie Q lives.
Yes.
We're spilling the tea
What's
on
Maggie
Q.
Q's home address?
You said that she's always, there's something she's always drinking?
Oh yeah, it's like a mason jar full of like a mixture. It's supposed to be really healthy, but it looks like pond scum. Did you ever drink that on set?
I didn't see what she was drinking on set, but she's glowing. So whatever it is, it's
But
working.
it's working.
Yeah.
So actually, hearkening back to what we were talking before, because you're our only straight girl on the panel today. I have to say.
Online petition.
I have to say, usually when you see a TV show and they have the coroner, even if usually it's an older person, even if it's an attractive woman, it's
Where are you going with this, Fred?
No, you are the hottest coroner I've ever seen on a TV show.
Thank you very much.
And you had glasses on too, right?
Yeah.
So
it
she's
was
smart,
so interesting.
too.
Yeah.
When I went in for the role, I was wearing like. She was described as very cool and young, and I was wearing like high tops and like my glasses and my earphones. Was like, whatever. And then I went in for my fitting, and they put me in like this beautiful silk blouse and high heels, and I was like, what? Like,
And who's
Right.
dissecting? Who's doing autopsies? Looking that. I mean, I have to say, who's
But
doing
they-
autopsies
they,
looking that
like,
fabulous?
Dumbed it down. The next day I came back to set and she was like, "You're right. You're not that pretty in it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Although there is a scene from another episode of A Designated Survivor where, Maggie Q plays an FBI agent, and she's like been held captive on a cargo ship, and she's running away from the bad guy. Her heels are like this high. Like, who's running around as an FBI agent in heels that high? Anyway, that's
Nikita. Nikita.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Helen Hayden. There she is. Thank you very much. And now, once again, it's time for Tito's Midpoint.
In a second.
Sweet. So tonight we're playing Point of No Return. Usually we ask questions to the panel and just try to be shady in case we want to know like what's the tea with everyone. But tonight we're going to ask the panel and the audience if anyone has an answer to one of the questions, raise your hand and we'll go around. Or eat snacks.
And what are you doing?
It's a long show. What do you expect?
A stunt.
And you do it during my segment.
Brought a prop.
What kind of
What an
popcorn
ass.
is that?
Okay. So we're each
I'll go
asking a
first.
question today?
Yeah.
Okay.
First question. Have you ever peed in the swimming pool?
Yes.
I'm going to ask,
Just everybody,
ask
or-
Ori.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Does anyone have a pool pee story?
Did it turn blue?
I think
No, it
that's a
turned
new-
red.
new
No, it's red.
technology,
It's
isn't
red.
it?
Is that real?
It's red?
Yeah. No.
What?
I'm
On your
just kidding. No, I'm
period.
just
See a doctor. I've peed in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, all the time.
Was
All
that
the
that
time?
BP oil
Oh, that's
spill?
when I don't even go to the
Because
washroom.
you're at the ocean all the time?
No, but like
Which
if I'm
one?
at a beach, I don't go to the washroom ever. I just
What?
go for
You
a
just
swim.
hold it?
No,
Or
I
you
go for a swim.
Yeah, who doesn't?
And then
Some people find it
And it's
gross.
just so invigorating you don't have to go anymore?
Oh.
Sure.
Ew.
Who am I going to ask this question?
No, you're asking everybody.
Oh, everybody. Would you ever have sex for money?
How much money?
Okay, this one is directed at you.
No, I wouldn't. I say that, but if it were a lot of
What
money,
about if somebody tossed you a
the
mill?
disappointment.
I think anyone would do it for $1 million.
close your eyes and
Hope for the best.
How about
So
like
hold on, are we
leave the
talk-
check on the nightstand.
Are we talking like gay for pay kind of thing? Or are we talking about just like...
No, just having sex. Just sex. Like if
yeah,
some...
well, I mean, obviously.
if so-
you're
if a
gonna do
woman-
it for free and someone's like, also, here's a bunch of money, like, why not?
Okay, Tegan, $250 for a bead, yes or no?
$250 or $2.50?
$250.
Oh, that's a little.
That's an argument
too
we had
low.
afterwards.
No, he's not charging him for the... He's saying,
I'll
give me
give
a
you-
blowjob, and I'll give you $250.
But some people do that, and they'll pay you for that. Like they don't want you to blow them; they want to blow you for money.
I would pay Ryan Gosling to...
Do mouth things.
To eat your
Eat some
popcorn?
popcorn?
Tegan next.
Hold on. Audience, I would like to... Anybody answer that question.
Has anybody in the audience been paid for sex?
Or would you be open to it? Wait, this sounds like proposition
Everybody
A.
just looked really nervous.
I heard a sigh.
All right.
Next question.
No tea.
No teeth.
No teeth.
No teeth. No teeth.
Okay, Tegan.
This is actually a really good one, and I'm going to ask this to my friend Tudo. What are the 3 qualities you feel are most important in a friend?
Ooh, in a friend. I thought it was gonna get like really bad.
Thank you.
In a friend.
I know. Yep, that's a reference. I understand.
Honesty.
Yeah, okay.
Sense of humor. Loyalty.
Wait, we don't have the copyright to these products. Yeah, you gotta hold it.
Andrew will blur it.
Look.
You didn't even
And look
care
at the way
anymore.
he's holding that.
He doesn't even
I'm
care.
impressed.
I didn't say beauty. Anyone? I'm not that shallow. Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Tegan, you're
You
one of
made
the
Anyone
most
else?
men I've seen.
No qualities.
Oh. Honesty for sure. What else did you say? I wasn't listening.
Loyalty.
Loyalty.
These hoes need to be loyal.
Fair.
Yeah.
And that's it?
I guess.
Okay, next
no,
question.
I said the 3.
Who's next?
Next question. Didn't you ask a question?
Somebody did something wrong.
Oh, somebody did something wrong.
What was your childhood nickname, Gordon?
Was it Gord?
No.
G-Funk?
No, nothing cool.
Gordo.
Yeah, it was Gordy and then Gordo, and I was like, no, I'm just Gordon. And then I was like, what? No, and then some people just decided to call me Jordan.
Do you hate when I call you Gordo?
Do I hate it?
Yeah.
He doesn't love it.
Yeah, okay, you just answered my
Yeah,
question.
'cause
Thank you.
Gordo is from Lizzie McGuire, and
I was
kinda
gonna
like,
say, yeah.
he just kept losing,
Yeah.
right? Like he wasn't a winner. He was a
Did you
loser.
say someone decided to call you
Lizzie
Gordon?
at the end. What are you talking about?
I thought
Was it
Gordo
your
was the
parents?
girl
He
from
got-
Lizzie
he
McGuire.
got- he got Lizzie at the end. I don't know what you're talking about.
He got Lizzie at the end.
At the movie.
end.
They
At
got
the
them at the
end.
end.
Did anyone else have any funny nicknames growing up?
Dreams Bottom.
Dreams Bottom.
That's a good one.
Nice.
I didn't have nicknames as much as people just asked me about Patty Mayonnaise a lot.
Mine was
Am I the only one my age in this room? What's going on?
Patty
The
Oh,
Mayonnaise?
from
Doug?
Doug, from Doug the Show.
Yeah,
okay,
the show
yeah.
Doug. I'm
Doug.
Doug, everybody.
References.
I should have put my name up on the
Doug,
board.
okay.
Mine
Yes.
was just Tits.
Tits.
Yeah,
I
it
call
was
you
so
Teets.
rude.
Why?
Or Tina Turner.
Oh, tits. I get it.
Starts with a T. I don't know.
Thought
People
maybe
were.
you had boobs when you were a kid.
Next question.
No,
Popcorn
shit.
Man, ask a question.
Wait, no funny nicknames in the audience? Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak.
It's a good
That's
one.
funny. Cute.
That's a good one,
I
yeah.
thought you said Pimp Squeak.
My grade 7 teacher nicknamed me Morninsky because he was Ukrainian and I was half Ukrainian, so my last name was Morneau. So he made my last name half Ukrainian by calling me
That's
Morninsky.
cute.
Cultural.
Cultural.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
All right. Well, then,
You need me to hold that for you?
this around to people.
Okay, I guess we're.
Wow.
I thought they were the
I've also
caramel
got
ones.
Sun chips here as well if people prefer
We
those.
don't have the rights to these brands.
All the way out
Ask
of
the
here.
question.
Who has not been asked yet?
Just read it.
Just read it.
It's for everyone.
What is your biggest fear, everyone?
Oh, man.
being alone forever?
Dying alone.
Pregnancy.
You're gonna die alone.
Oh, winner. Me too. I was gonna say heights, but yeah, you're right. 100%.
Yeah, I would jump off some high.
I'm afraid of getting pregnant.
Into water, of course.
Tegan?
I'm afraid of Patti LuPone.
Who are these people?
Another
Is she a
great
mobster?
current reference.
Did nobody watch the Tonys?
Okay, that is a current reference. She's in war paint right now.
She is so talented, but she is terrifying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, audience. Biggest fears, just shout them out. Yeah, anybody else?
Crickets.
Dead crickets.
Taxes.
Ooh.
Dead crickets and taxes.
Taxes. That's a good one.
That's your worst fear?
Helen? Ooh, failure. That's a good one.
Getting deep.
From someone
Okay,
who's an actor who's constantly
give
judged.
it to me. One more question. Give it to me.
Pregnancy.
Give me the souffle cup that Tito found somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna let's pick a good one. If I don't like it, I'm not asking it. Okay, I'm just gonna ask this one because I want everybody to see it.
Can you read that again? Just that pose.
It's like he's looking under glasses.
Okay, everybody, you don't have to say anything. You just have to do what the question says.
Okay, just
And the
get to it.
question is, can you lick your elbow?
I can. I swear to God.
Okay, let's see. Can Tito lick?
I am fully impressed right now.
Yeah.
I can also lick my tongue. I can lick my tongue.
I was trying to go this way the whole time. Like,
Is anybody else
that-
rock hard right now?
Okay.
Can anybody else lick their elbow?
I can lick my nose too, but only if I push it down.
Wait.
You could do it without pushing it down.
All right, let's see this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Lick each other's noses.
Maybe later.
Lick them
Close.
polyamorously.
Almost.
I wouldn't say no.
We got 4 minutes, then it's after 10, and we can get into the stuff that's a little blue.
Yeah. Thank you,
yeah.
Tito, for today's elbow licking midpoint.
Great.
Put the snacks. I feel like your mother. Put the snacks away already. Those are for the guests.
It's a lot of talk of mothers tonight.
Our next guest, from One Hop Kitchen, Lee Cadesky.
Welcome back.
And his brother Ellie is also up there, but he had to.
So
he couldn't stay the whole
handsome.
time. Yeah. But we have the better brother, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Throwing shade right out of the gate.
The Nick Jonas of the brothers.
It's like he's Nick Jonas and the other one's Joe Jonas.
Wait, are there Jonases?
Joe is still great.
Like they're both hot, but one's just a little hotter. Anyway,
More smoldering, I would say.
One Hop Kitchen. What makes One Hop Kitchen unique?
We make fantastic pasta sauce, and that's all you need to know. No, we work with insect protein, so we make fantastic food out of bugs. I like to say if you can dream it, we can make it out of bugs. We make a cricket and a mealworm bolognese. It's a classic meat sauce and everything but the meat. And we do it by restructuring bugs into tofu, which we can then turn into a whole bunch of different things, including hot dogs, that weird beige lump, which is our cricket tofu, and pasta sauce.
How do you get around the fact that tofu is gross?
We
I
try
like tofu.
We try to avoid calling it tofu. But we always run into that problem of, how do you explain this thing that's never existed before, and communicate it in one sentence? So we call it textured insect protein, or TIP.
How do you get around the fact that that is also probably difficult for people to...
You go on interesting talk shows.
There you go, yeah.
If you just want to eat textured insect protein, it's just the tip?
It's just the tip.
Fred, get the hell out of here.
The jokes will
So
just
how
keep
did
getting
this?
better.
I'm sorry to keep bugging you about this, but
Now we need a cricket sound effect.
but how did you come up with this idea?
So I'm a food scientist. I did my master's in dairy chemistry, and spent a lot of time learning more than I thought there was to know about milk.
Sounds awesome.
It was really cool. If you ever
Like,
want,
I'm a food scientist.
yeah, it's good fun, and I keep a little bug lab in my apartment, which gets messy, but it gets clean. But I was interested in edible bugs. People have been talking about it as a sustainable way to feed the world when there's going to be 9 or 10 billion of us in 30 years. And what I saw was there were no meat products out on the market. As people were talking about sustainability around edible insects, they're better than cattle. They take less feed, less emissions, and yet we had no products that actually replaced meat. So I went into the kitchen and I was trying to make really imitation crab. Basically called up my brother one day, said, "Hey, I invented cricket tofu," and we started the business.
Okay, what's imitation crab? Just I want to back up for one
Imitation
second.
crab made out of crickets.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, why is there a
arthropods?
Exactly.
Yeah, I see you.
So how do you? Okay, so how many people? Be honest. How many people think this is just gross? No.
He wants to try it. I see that. He was like,
It's delicious.
How do you get over or bypass that idea that eating bugs is gross? Even though we all did it when we were like 5 years old.
And we do it unknowingly when we sleep too.
I don't know who you sleep with.
No, it's a real thing. People eat like 11 spiders a year.
That's an old wives' tale,
I think that's false.
I think it's 1,100.
Yeah.
The science is still out. But I mean, the biggest thing for us is putting bugs in forms that don't look scary. So I brought snacks for you guys here. We've got on the right there in the little cups. We've got some just whole roasted crickets.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're in
I
there.
told you I'd bring you something new.
I can't do that. I can't
I'm
do
not
that.
doing
no.
that again.
No, because they look like cricket. I
Do
can't
they have
do
a
it.
flavor or what?
They're just a little bit of seasoning salts.
Why are they whole roasted? crickets?
Seasoning salts. That's it.
We got an order for them. I had them left over.
Stop.
In the
You're
spirit of
gonna
full
do it again.
disclosure. They're really nice. They're
Or isn't
kind
it-
of like
just
sunflower
eat them,
seeds.
like, one
They're
at a
loaded in
time?
protein. I have a bunch
Just
for
take
the
a
audience
shot.
too.
Just shot.
Right behind Faye, right there.
You know, originally I didn't trust you, but you gave me a jar of
Bread.
this.
Yeah.
I can't even
And I
look at
took it
that.
home to make
give
spaghetti.
samples.
And my girlfriend was unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah, some tears and
They are
Did you
so
tell her before or after?
after, definitely after.
Just if you have a shellfish allergy, don't eat the bugs.
Why?
People who have shellfish allergies can be sensitive. You know how lobsters are the cockroach of the sea? Crickets are like the shrimp of the sky.
Arthropods.
I
Arthropods, exactly.
want to try the hot dogs. That's what I want to try.
So I'm paying $35 in a restaurant for a cockroach tail.
Yeah, it's a really good cockroach.
What?
Cockroach of the
Just
sea.
shoving them in his mouth like popcorn.
So have there ever?
Oh, thank you.
Now here's a question. I mean, people could eat beef, they could eat chicken, they could eat soy protein. Why eat crickets? Why even bother?
I mean, that's if it's not for you, you don't
No,
have
no,
to.
no,
is the
but I'm
truth.
saying
but
that-
no, but in that same sense, I mean, I think it's they can be really tasty. There's a ton of great bugs out there. I've had about 15 different species of insects that I've tried. I've had ones that taste like paint, ones that taste like dirt, scrambled eggs, cheese, and green apples.
Crazy.
Green apples?
Oh yeah, giant water bugs. I had them in Japan. Enough said, I guess. But they're pungent like green apples. And they're actually an ingredient in Thai cooking.
See, when you ground them up and you create the tofu, when you make things out of them, I can do them. I can't do the little. But the reason why I ask is because I know that insect cuisine is becoming a bigger thing, and I was just hoping he's really chowing down on the bugs.
These things are delicious.
Who wants to make out with Ori after
Thank you very
this?
much.
You want to do mouth things?
Not even me,
So-
girl.
All night long.
No, why is it actually becoming a bigger thing to pay attention to farming and eating insect products?
So an enormous amount of greenhouse gas emissions, water. I mean, it's about 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions come from livestock. At the same time, we tend to exempt our agricultural sectors from things like carbon taxes, cap and trade, any kind of water regulations. We try and limit how much agriculture is affected by these things, and we protect the industry a lot. But we make an enormous choice between from what we eat. Probably it's a bigger contributor to climate change than how we choose to transport ourselves, and it's just not something we're going to be able to keep doing forever. So people are looking at all sorts of alternatives, and it's not just about bugs. It's about having a robust portfolio of different kinds of solutions that will be good for different people, and that's at the heart of it. I mean, largely it is also reducing our consumption of animal products because they do require a lot more resources to raise. At the same time, they provide exceptional nutrition, and they can be really tasty. I'll be the first to admit it. But it's just about creating new alternatives, showing that there's more great stuff out there, and beyond just eating for the planet and sustainability. There's great components for your health. There's great micronutrients, and you might find something you really like. You might just do something new.
And I will say, because I've had the pasta sauce, it tastes like really good pasta sauce. It really does. And I actually said to Lee when he had me try it, I said, "Wow, this tastes really good." And he said, "Do you know what the secret is to really good cricket pasta sauce?" I said, "What?" He said, "Good tomatoes." and it's the truth. It just tastes like good pot. It just happens to have a different source of protein than
And
something
the
else.
reality of it is most of our meat doesn't have a ton of flavor to it to begin with. I mean, some things do. You buy a nice filet mignon, you're getting a lot of great flavor from that steak. But when you grind beef into a hamburger, you can flavor it however you want. I mean, there's only so much you're getting from it. And to be fair, I mean, I think we eat a lot of crappy meat too. We should replace, I think, at least our crappy experiences eating an unsustainable product with, at the very least, a crappy experience eating a sustainable one.
Can you make lean ground cricket?
So our textured protein, we basically crumble it up, we brown it in a pan. That's how we use it for the bolognese.
Okay.
We're working on getting to more kinds of textures, and that's my personal background in food science. That's my interest. The hot dog has been a really big one for us, and I'm glad this is our new formulation.
I was going to say, because I tried the old,
Yeah.
and I liked it, but it wasn't great. It tasted like tofu dogs.
Yeah.
This
And tofu is gross.
Tastes more like a veggie dog.
This
though.
tastes more like a veggie dog.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and it's
This is
about
better.
Oh, thank you.
This is better. So it's One Hop Kitchen. If people, I know that you're now in supermarkets, at least around here, because I've seen it on the shelves. If people are interested in finding out more about One Hop Kitchen and your products and all that, how do they find you online?
www.onehopkitchen.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, One Hop Kitchen. We've also got that weird C thing. That's our ingredient company.
It also looks like in the middle it says FU.
It does say FU. It is a
Okay.
company. It's a very unfortunately
Edgy.
titled company called Sifu Foods, which originally stood for Cricket Tofu Foods. Sifufoods.com, CFUfoods.com.
Well,
you'll
CFU.
see- yes. You'll see a lot of pictures of a whole bunch of different stuff, and it's all made out of bugs.
Great. And you're going to stick around for a while if people want to try out the hot dogs are good. I can't do the bugs. That's the bug. Ori can eat them. I can't do them. But the hot dogs are really good. Thank you, Lee Cadesky from One Hop Foods. One Hop Kitchen. Seafood Foods. One Hop Kitchen. Okay, so we are back now. Back with the draggiest of drag queens.
I try.
Faye Tality.
Good.
I look good in that photo. Oh my god.
You
Right?
do look good
I told you earlier you
Fuck.
had the best headshot.
Fuck.
Titties on point.
What?
Yes. Giving, yeah, that's, yeah, exactly. What black diva of the past does she remind you of?
Ooh.
I'm drawing a blank. There's been so many references tonight that I have no more right now.
Good, because I'm my own person.
That's right.
Exactly.
She's her own.
How about like Tony Braxton?
You're every woman.
Ooh, it's all in me.
Yeah.
Well, if it's all in you,
Oh,
that's a
God.
topic for another day.
You know what? That's just not
Okay, actually, there are some issues I want to talk with you about.
Did you do that?
There you go.
Okay.
So there was this article on the website Vulture about how male stars have become too buff.
Oh god.
And they're, for example, Zac Efron in Baywatch.
She's not too bad.
You know what? Don't say anything
He looks
bad about.
so good.
Don't say anything bad about Zac Efron, because that's like my Beyonce to like.
I
Tudo.
agree, actually.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love
No, because
Zac
I grew
Efron.
up with High School Musical.
I
and
didn't. I
that's
just
my
love him.
thing.
Yeah,
I
but
also
that-
did.
No.
Hairspray.
That's my thing.
No,
Oh,
but Zac
Hairspray?
Efron didn't look like that in High School
But
Musical.
but he was
But he
always
didn't need to
hot.
be though.
And also, why shouldn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
Right?
like, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that all these stars now are being forced. I mean, the movie studios are forcing them to get unrealistically buff. I mean, Chris Evans and all that.
Well, it's
he was
Baywatch.
beside The Rock
It's
in
Baywatch.
Baywatch,
It's
right?
Baywatch.
So-
Yeah.
It's Baywatch. You kind of have to be like fucking hot.
I know, but I mean, back in the day, what's his name? Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
He didn't look like that.
No,
So-
but nobody did. You know what I mean? Like, nobody looked
But isn't
like they do.
this creating an unrealistic? There's all these people watching from the glass. Come in, come in, come
Yeah,
in. You
they're
can
like, no.
come in.
They can't
Yeah,
hear
open-
anything out there.
Open the door. And look.
They're just leaving.
On
Yeah.
this topic, so men are now being held to the same standard as women.
Yeah, I think we went
Well,
the wrong
yeah.
way there. I think the point that Fred's making is like we shouldn't be holding men to unrealistic standards. We should stop holding women to unrealistic standards. We just went the other way. We're like, well, fine, fuck men too.
But as a culture overall, we have an unhealthy relationship with our bodies.
Yes,
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
doesn't this hurt us?
No.
Doesn't this create an unrealistic
No.
image of what men's bodies should look like?
It's
No.
not unrealistic. It's
not-
realistic if
well,
you work
if
for
you-
it or
yeah.
if you pay for it.
Yeah,
But
well,
there
I can
isn't-
give you the
Honey,
number
oh,
one.
honey.
Well, number one, I can give you the needle for the steroids if you want to look like that. Number two,
Stop offering us needles,
Okay,
Fred.
but
He's
I-
always doing this.
I don't think Zac Efron is steroids though.
Fred
well,
thinks
but
everyone
also,
does
no,
steroids.
but the
No.
other point is he makes a lot of money off of these movies.
And that's a
the
bad
movie
thing?
studio makes a lot of money off of this, so he can afford. I mean, he's basically paid to work out. His trainer is paid for. His dietitian is paid for. His full-time job before making this movie is work out and look buff.
Right.
Yes, if So there are, people who don't have those resources who then have that pressure on them.
They don't, though. Here's the thing.
Yes, they do.
Here's why they don't, though.
Okay,
You
this is
don't have the same entrenched misogyny that women deal with.
No.
I will leap across this table. No, you don't have the same systemic issues of body image that women have had to deal with for centuries, right? So it's not the same when all of a sudden, there's a focus on health,
Side note, oh my
and
God, the
people.
music.
There's a big parade
Sorry.
outside.
Yeah,
They're
there's
celebrating
music.
the
I'm
point
so sorry.
finale.
It looks just like Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope tour.
What is this?
Oh, that?
And what is that?
outside.
The parade. That's exactly what it looks like. Look it up on YouTube. That's what it is.
But my point is that it's not the same because there's a focus on actual health that has never really existed before.
This is
And
not
second,
health.
No, I
This
know,
is
but
not
what
health.
I'm saying is because there hasn't been such an entrenched, message of you have to look like this the way that it has for women, that it's not going to affect men in the same way.
No. It's a fact, and hopefully when we can get a picture of Zac Efron on the screen to show
If
you
I had
exactly
known,
what
I
we're talking
really
about.
would have brought.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I have one on my phone every day. So that's just
Yeah,
me.
I mean,
I have one on my
women have dealt with this for longer, absolutely, and I'm not comparing this to how women are treated in the media, but I'm saying that just for men, this creates an unhealthy, unrealistic expectation of what men should look like, and then men's.
But then you go to Good Life every day and you can see the same thing.
No,
What
I think there
I
are.
don't
No,
think
there are.
people-
That's a gym.
Yeah.
You go to the gym and you see people who are taking steroids or whatever, and they are having.
But there are deeper issues with those particular people because I don't think genuinely that men have the same concerns or the same pressure, and I don't think they care as much.
Yes, they do.
It's an escapist fantasy.
Okay.
Now, granted, I'm talking from the straight community, which is very different.
So actually, I came to the conclusion to myself, as a gay man, I always thought that, I wanted to be a buff guy. But then I realized to myself, okay, no, if I'm a buff guy, I'm not going to be attracted to I don't want to be attracted to myself. I'm attracted to buff men. Me as a skinny guy, I actually loved myself more than anything else.
Well, I applaud that.
Thank you.
Where?
No, but I mean, like people are attracted to a certain thing. That's why Zac Efron is.
No, I understand.
For, like,
I mean, I
girls.
understand.
Huh?
Like women and men that are attracted to him, right?
Yeah.
Like,
the point of him being attracted is for people to be attracted to him.
That's what I'm thinking.
He knows he's effing hot, so that's the point.
No, I know he knows he's hot. I just think.
All right,
that
hold on. Let's throw this out here. Does anybody out here have an opinion on this?
It's on the show.
I feel like there are
It's on the
people
show.
who have an opinion on this.
The microphone's on the show.
Oh, right. I was like, Faye, give him the mic. Over here.
I actually totally agree with you. I actually find him less attractive now than I used to.
I agree. I agree.
I don't find him attractive at all. He's too beefy and buff.
Okay, so that's
It's
a matter of attraction, but do you find you think, oh God, now I have to go out and look like that? Do you feel that kind of pressure?
No, but I can see where you're coming from, where that would potentially.
There are a
force
lot of
people.
men who have body dysphoria.
Dysmorphia.
Yeah, dysmorphia.
I tweeted about it.
Who see that and say, I now need to look like that.
That's okay. So I tweeted it like a couple of days ago. Like, I feel like I'm getting body dysmorphia because of all the hot guys I follow on Instagram. And then tomorrow I'm going to follow another one. But it's just like they're everywhere, and I want to look like them.
That's something I did a long time
But
ago.
see, I
was unfollow all of these Instagram models because it is unrealistic. And you really gain nothing from it.
But in a way, it kind of pushes you. Like, if you do go to the gym and like you want to look like them, then you work harder to kind of get.
But there's a difference between a reasonably buff-looking, muscular guy and the freakazoid that Zac Efron has become.
Oh my God,
he's not a freakazoid.
I can't do this.
Hold on.
I
Does
can't
anybody
do
else-
this. Go away, stop it.
Take
Stop
his
it.
money.
No, he's become
no,
too. He's
no, leave him
Okay, fine.
alone.
Faye,
Leave
okay.
him
Also, what
alone.
happened to the
Leave
escapism of
Zac
movies?
Leave Zac Efron
Okay.
alone.
Fantasy.
Leave Whitney alone. Leave Zac
Leave
Efron
Zac
alone.
Efron alone.
Leave him alone. Let me have
Hashtag
my...
leave
no,
Zac Efron alone.
Thank
Well,
you.
Faye has a lot to say.
Question.
So,
No,
wait.
question,
Somebody has a question.
Yes.
Somebody has a
Oh.
question.
Question or comment?
No, I just have a bit of a comment because I think, you're focusing a lot on Zac Efron right now.
Right, just 'cause-
And I get why. But, if you look at, Faye, you talked about how you loved him from High School Musical.
Yeah.
He needed to do something super dramatic
For the role,
to shed what he had built as a reputation of being a teen star in the same way that Miley Cyrus did when she was shedding the Hannah Montana image.
Yeah.
And then in the case of him being super buff for a movie like Baywatch, it is a fantasy. You're buying a fantasy.
But David Hasselhoff didn't look like
Right,
that.
but he's starring beside The Rock.
Don't hassle the Hoff. Don't hassle Hoff.
David Hasselhoff, yes, he wasn't the hot guy on Baywatch, but when you look at David Charvet and David Chokachi and all these other super buff guys that were alongside him on Baywatch, they did have that body image.
Yeah.
So you're buying the fantasy, and if you can separate what is a realistic body image versus what Baywatch is selling you, you can just take it for what it is and just enjoy it as eye candy. And the same thing with Chris Evans. He's Captain America. He has to be buff. You're buying the image of this larger-than-life superhero.
It's true. Also, Zac
Okay,
Efron
David
does
Bond.
very
Question
much
behind
look
you?
like the man, like a man now versus the boy of Zac Efron.
Wait,
that
because
we're used
and
to.
also he tried to get over his singing thing. Remember how he used to sing? Now he doesn't do that anymore.
Which is awful because he has a beautiful voice.
Side question. He didn't even sing in the first High School Musical.
Yeah, but he did in Hairspray, and that was
Hairspray
way
was
better.
not good.
Let's not talk about that. Let's
From
not-
the
let's not
audience.
do this.
I'm not so much bothered by the level of buffness, but it's more the frequency, because it's pretty hard to find anything that's targeted at a certain audience between kind of that mid-teenage range to kind of the late 20s, where all of the stars in the movie are not in some form very, very fit.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Twilight series definitely did a dent in the whole thing too, because of all of the topless scenes in the first two movies. And I've found personally that, for the kind of person I am, I'm not afraid to admit that I've had, body image issues and I've been self-conscious. And seeing all of these guys everywhere, that the only guys I see topless in a TV show, in a movie, in a post-grad, that they all kind of have that similar body type, it does make me feel like I'm not a normal guy. Because these are normal guys. These are the guys that are constantly being shown to me, and I'm not like that, so there must be something wrong with me.
And see, that's why I wish more movies and more TV shows has okay, I can talk about myself personally. I'm more attracted to a stocky guy, and that's just me. And I wish more
What's
movies.
up?
Hey, what's up? No stuff. All right. See, that's just me. But the thing is, I wish more TV shows, more stuff showed something. Like a hot guy doesn't define a six-pack abs.
Well, and hairy guys too.
Exactly.
They're always perfectly
What's up?
smooth.
Wait, see,
Yeah.
wait. Little bit of hair.
You want to see what too much buffness can do to a person? Look at Carrot Top.
Hold on, I think we have a
Just
picture of
look
Carrot Top
at
here.
Carrot Top. That's all I will say.
We keep talking about David Hasselhoff. Does nobody remember the drunk video of him eating a cheeseburger?
Yes, I do.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up.
No.
Okay.
What
Okay.
happened?
So Faye, I actually had this article kicking around for a while, hoping that one day you would come back to us, and you did.
One day.
This was an article from LGBTQ Nation. It's called 10 Things You Should Never Say to a Black Guy on Grindr.
Let's go.
Okay. So,
let's
everybody knows what Grindr is? Yeah. Okay. Number 10. Can I ask you a question? That's what it says.
Really?
Just because it's lame?
No, because
there's no
See, automatically, the first thing, I don't know if it's on the list, but the first thing that I get is, you're cute for a black guy.
What?
I literally got that so many times.
Really?
Yeah, you're cute for a black guy. That's what it is.
Number 9. I'm not attracted to white guys.
Okay, I haven't got that.
But is
I
that,
know.
is that
No, the thing is, I'm not attracted to black guys.
See, that's something you shouldn't say to a black guy.
Exactly, that's something you shouldn't say to a black guy, yeah.
What's wrong with, because it's... I don't get why that's a problem, that
Like
particular...
they only like black guys, so they tell him that they don't
well,
like
I'm not
white
into
guys.
white guys, so obviously I'm into you.
Yeah.
That's why you messaged me.
We call them night riders, right?
Yeah, but straight people do that with...
Wasn't
straight
David
men do that
Hasselhoff
with
in
women
that
all the
too?
time.
Or was that
You know,
someone
like...
else?
I don't like...
David Hasselhoff was in Knight Rider.
Stop.
Yeah.
All right, we have to stop with Hasselhoff. We have burned that joke
Okay,
to the
number
ground.
8. I don't cross racial lines.
Okay. Somebody says that word for word.
Someone actually said that word for
This
word?
is, according to
They
this
sent that
writer,
message
Give me the
from
receipts.
1955.
Give me the
this
receipts.
writer,
Okay.
Jeremy Hellegar, these were things that were said. Black don't crack.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of true, right?
Honey. Yeah.
Okay, this
You know it's
one,
true. You
this
know it's
one,
true.
I can't. Number 6. Is it true what they say about black men?
Oh.
But that's like a fact as well.
What, like in the media?
That's not a fact. No, it's
Yes,
not.
if you do like a study statistics of like average men in the
No.
world.
No, not all black.
No, isn't
Well,
that
like,
okay?
as an
Can I,
average,
can,
like-
can I say that? Can I say that? Can I
Say
that?
whatever you want, honey.
Not all black guys have big dicks.
I'm not saying like all,
No,
but
but
like
what
the
you're
majority.
You heard it here
though.
first.
Like
what you're saying, though,
statistically.
it's not statistically at all. Not all black people. No.
Not all. No, I'm saying like majority of the
As
world.
a gay
I
man,
mean.
no.
Well, and doesn't
What are you
that
saying? All their
stereotype?
dicks look the same?
I've done
too,
I've
Tudo?
done my research. No.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I went black and I went back. That's not the point.
Doesn't that stereotype also? It's one of these things that creates an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah, that's
Like,
completely.
then if you're
Because they all know. Because they all okay. So this thing with me, I don't get that. I don't get that often. But most people look at me, they assume I'm a certain position. But then they see my skin tone, and they assume a different thing.
really,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, because of my because of me being skinny. Okay, and
Okay, say it. Just say
yeah.
it. Say
Okay,
it.
because in the gay community, they automatically assume that I'm a bottom because I'm skinny. But then they see I'm black. They're like, okay, wait, no, never mind.
That you must be a top because
Yeah.
you're black.
That's
because
so
you have a big
stupid.
dick.
Yeah.
Number 5. You must be. Number. Is it true?
Oh yes, ask.
Gordon's
Shit
the
guy.
power top.
Right? Obviously.
Gordon's a power top.
I've heard like a lot of those like from Tinder.
Question.
Gordon's more of a power side.
Yeah, joke
Side.
from before. I've actually heard like a lot of those like from like Tinder and stuff like that. And well, I guess Tinder's the only thing. But well, for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, is she attractive enough for me to try and change her?
To deal with the racism.
Is she?
Really?
Do you question
It's like,
this?
That's the
because some of them are really
the
bad.
white-
I don't cross racial lines.
Yeah.
The white perspective
White?
on that is
But-
this person hot enough to deal with how stupid they are?
Well, again, like stupidity is like, well, we have to allow that. You know?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
'Cause you're
because I
just-
don't deal with the racism
See,
thing.
the thing,
so.
it sucks. It sucks for me being a drag queen because that's just a cock block in itself. So I have to
For
do.
some people.
No, with most people. Because because that's why I don't. That's why I have a side profile that's just my boy Instagram, and I hooked that up. I hooked that up to Grindr because most people automatically assume, oh, drag queen, they don't want to deal with that. And then when I see I love when I see a straight man comes up to me because I'm like, I'm more of a man than you ever be, and I'm more of a woman you ever get.
Oh, girl.
Angel.
Right?
Catchphrase.
Right?
Angel.
Right?
But like the amount of straight guys that go up to you.
Oh, you saw.
Girl.
Oh, honey.
Talk about that.
Right? Okay.
Because
so-
that's crazy.
Okay, the eyes in general on the street is ridiculous. Well, because from far away, you can't tell. You can't tell what's realistic or not. So, like, automatically, straight guys just assume. But then, with me, in terms of Grindr and stuff like that, black's one thing, drag queen's another thing. They automatically show me that just because of a drag queen. And then what? Because I'm black. It's just like, I think as though I'm not even full black. I'm mixed. And that's what I have to say to people because people are like me, oh, I don't do black guys. No, I'm not even black. I'm mixed. Give me something.
I feel
Give me
like
something.
I feel like in general being black is like kind of a benefit. Like all
To a
these
degree.
things.
No, to a degree,
Just
yeah,
because I just
yeah.
feel like just there and they're just like, oh, love black guys.
See, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's always the wild dick. You know.
But see,
it's-
for
You
me,
have a wild
see,
dick.
for me, though, you know the strange thing is, I always get those comments from other black guys. I have a lot of black guys who are actually attracted to me, and I'm like, I don't go black.
Interesting.
It's not me.
The one I won't.
I like my men like my I like my men like my chocolate white, but
Whoa.
but
What's
see,
up?
What's up? Most stuff.
T.
All right, what else is on this list?
Okay. Number 4. I don't even know what this stands for. BBC.
Big black.
Big
cock.
black clock.
Oh, big black cock.
Come on, son.
Come on, hon.
Well, I was like,
You should have known
the
that.
British
Come on.
Broadcasting Company?
Do you
I
watch
don't know.
Coronation
Honey.
Street?
Hashtag how old is Fred?
Honey.
Number 3, I'm hungry for big black
Cock.
Yeah, there you go. Number 2, I love black men.
But is that it?
No,
How
That's-
dare
Do you
you?
get
That's-
offended
what's wrong
if
with
people
that?
say that?
And I don't.
I think so. No one. It's not usually people who say that though. Not a lot of people say that though.
I don't know. And number one, I've always wanted to try black.
Yeah. See, I get that. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I get that.
I would
You get
also.
that? Like for women?
Oh no, I feel like that's a lot.
I feel like I would.
Try black.
I would
Try
add.
black.
I would add to the list.
that a
I'm
slogan?
not racist, but.
Yeah, see,
Right, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But like, would you get offended if somebody asked you that?
I don't think so. 'Cause with
Or
me,
like said,
I don't consider myself full black, so that's the thing. I don't get that offended. So I mean, that's just me.
point.
I feel like that would be kind of insulting though if you were treated like a fetish.
Oh, yeah, I get no.
Well, I think right. That's
no. That's why I get offended when people say, I don't like black guys, but you're cute.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so
it's like
ignorant.
when
That
people.
is racist.
That's when people say to me, "You look really good for your age." Thank you.
You do.
You do.
I
Oh,
literally
welcome.
said that to him in the bathroom before the show. I don't know why I said where. Before the show tonight, and he
in the
hasn't
washroom,
shut the hell up
in
about
the
it.
stall. Okay, so well, you obviously as a drag queen, you perform many songs.
I sometimes do.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
And Tito, you are a big bopper.
Okay.
So
True.
music, like he bops to music. Well, speaking of things musical, it's now time for the Point's very first musical guest and musical performance. We're going to set up for singer-songwriter Shayne Stolz. We'll be right back. And we are back with singer-songwriter Shayne Stolz. So Shayne, you are going to be singing your new single in just a couple of minutes. SOULLOVE.
SOULLOVE.
SOULLOVE. It's one word.
One word.
SOULLOVE. What's the inspiration behind the song? Because you're a songwriter too. You wrote the song.
Yeah, I wrote the song. I'm a singer-songwriter. SOULLOVE. Well, have you ever locked eyes with someone that you really felt some sort of connection with?
I do right now.
Like this moment.
Yeah, right at this moment.
And you're looking in their eyes like this, and you really want to know more about them.
I do.
And you feel that allure and that mystery.
I do.
And yeah, and so it's wanting to, you could get in on it too, totally. And it's wanting to feel that deeper connection to them. It's a really fun summer jam.
Cool. Now, now you're originally from Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Yeah, born and raised in Thunder Bay.
And anybody from T-Bay here? Any T-Bay fans?
T-Bay.
T-Bay. Oh yeah,
2
you used to live in
years.
T-Bay. No, I didn't say T-Bag. I said T-Bay. How did you? Have you always been musical? Were you always a songwriter? Did you always think you'd be a singer?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my first performance was when I was 6 years old for my grade 1 talent show at St. Francis Elementary in Thunder Bay, where I was born and raised. And I really, really wanted to sing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Yes, exactly. Epic, amazing song. Celine is my queen. Well, one of my queens. I have many queens.
The mannerisms,
I had my own diva mannerisms, actually. But my 6-year-old, diva self. Yeah, so I
you
really
knew back
wanted
then.
to. Yeah, I totally, I really wanted to sing that song. And so I made my mom go out and get the cassette tape at the time, because that's so 90s, right? And I made her practice with me every single night. And she was really surprised because I was extremely shy. I was known as Shy Shayne. And yeah.
That was your nickname.
That was yeah, exactly. Funny nicknames. That was my nickname when I was really little, Shy Shayne. And so I went on to do the performance in grade 1. And I got a standing ovation, and people were crying, and it's actually up on my website in the bio section. You can watch the performance, and my mom's shaky hand camera, because she was bawling her eyes out, was filming it. So yeah, it's from my performance. So
wow,
yeah, that's how it all started, really.
Well, what is your website? Let's give it out now so
Sure,
that people
it's
know.
www.shaynestolz.com. And I also have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My Facebook is at Shayne Singer-Songwriter. And my name is actually spelled Shayne. So it has a Y in it because
And I always
people
want to put
tend to forget
a second T in Stolz, but there's no second T, right?
No, it's okay. So it's so my Twitter and Instagram is at Shayne Stolz. So that's SHAYNESTOLZ.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ready to sing?
I'm so ready to sing.
Cool. With his new single, SOULLOVE, please welcome Shayne Stolz.
Thank you. Thank you. Calling out for you in the darkest night. Can you be a star in my sky? 'Cause you shine so bright. Can you be my lover tonight? 'Cause you make me feel alive. Can't get you off my mind. Can you be my lover tonight? 'Cause you make me feel alive. And can you give me a sign? I wanna feel your soul love, your soul love. I wanna feel your energy. I wanna feel your soul love, your soul love. I wanna feel your energy, your energy. Oh, will you be the one? Show me your true soul love, love. Oh, will you be the one? Show me your true soul love. Reaching out my hand, let me take you higher. I'll show you everything that we can be. Oh, we can dance with our deepest desires. Can you be my lover tonight? 'Cause you make me feel alive. Can't get you off my mind. Can you be my lover tonight? 'Cause you make me feel alive. So can you give me a sign? I wanna feel your soul love, your soul love. I wanna feel your energy. I wanna feel your soul love, your soul love. I wanna feel your energy, your energy. Oh, will you be the one? Show me your true soul love, 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 love. Oh, will you be the one? Show me your true soul love. You're all I need. You are, 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 you're all I need. So I wanna feel your soul love, your soul love. I wanna feel your energy. Come on, everybody. I wanna feel your soul
Shayne. Everybody back on. Come on, guys. All y'all, back here. Tito, Gordon, Doug, Faye, Tegan, Ori, come on, back here. Thank you, everybody, for making the first season of The Point so successful. I want to thank Nuit Rose for having us here today, as well as the 519 Community Center. Here we go. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I know you're watching us live today, but we are a web-based series, so go on YouTube, watch us there, subscribe to us. Doesn't cost you anything, helps us out greatly. That website is youtube.com/thepointguys.
We're actually live right now.
Oh, we're live right now.
There's no viewers. Nobody's watching.
Oh, okay.
But it is live.
We're also on iTunes. Check out there for the audio podcast. Our crowdfunding site is on Patreon. That's patreon.com/thepointguys. Follow us, like us on social media everywhere. We are at The Point Guys. We are also available on Reverie, the world's largest LGBTQ streaming service. We're taking the summer off. We will be back for season 2. So we will see you next fall.
We didn't tell anyone else we were going to do that.
You want to do it again? So we will see you next fall on The Point. To sing us out, Shayne is back with a track off of his debut self-titled CD, right? It's just called
that's
Shayne.
Right. Shayne.
Shayne. Just Shayne,
With
like
a Y.
share.
That's right.
It's called Moment.
Moment. Yeah.
It's on your debut CD, which is actually available for purchase right there in the corner. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing up and watching us today. Thank you, Nuit Rose. Here we go. Once again, Shayne Stolz. Thank you.
This song's about loving yourself and remembering to live in the moment. Happy Pride, everyone. Happy Nuit Rose. Thank you so much for having me on the show, on The Point. Say goodbye to the fear inside. It's time to speak your truth and let your spirit shine. Don't be afraid, throw your own parade to celebrate life and who you are today. And light up the sky. Let all your colors fly. And show the world your pride. And love is all we need to make us feel alive. Never, ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. And never, ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. Free to be whoever we want to be, kings and queens. Our truth is what we believe. And never, ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. Live your desires and feel inspired. Let your passion light the way. Let it take you higher. And light up in the sky. Let all your colors fly. And show the world your pride. And love is all we need to make us feel alive. Never, ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. Never, ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. Free to be whoever we want to be, kings and queens. Our truth is what we believe. And never, ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. Never, ever forget. In this moment with all of you beautiful people. Never, ever, ever forget. In this moment. Never forget. Don't let them bring you down, just live your life. Don't let them bring you down, just live your life. Don't let them bring you down, just live your life. Don't let them bring you down, just live your life. In this moment.
Never ever forget, no, no, how I'm feeling in this moment. Free to be whoever we want to be. Kings and queens, our truth is what we believe. Never ever forget how we're feeling in this moment. Thank you.